Welcome back to 5 Minutes with David. This is the second episode of our series. Today we are going to talk about stop chasing empathy as your cure. Your struggle deserves more than just being pitied. Let's just be real for today. We all crave to be understood. We want people to look at our messy hard lives and say, I get it. It hurts. That's hard. In fact, empathy is a good thing. It is a God-given desire. God made us for connection, for compassion, for being known. But here is a question for you and I today. What if that craving becomes a chase? In fact, some people love for people to have empathy on them, so much so that everything they want to look like they have nothing, they have nobody. So tonight, this is what we are going to talk about today. When we are so desperate to seek empathy, when we are so desperate to be understood, we miss the most vital things and the vital lessons in our lives. We miss the important thing that God is with us. God is for us. And that is what Jacob in Genesis 47 verse 9 and the man at the pool of Bethesda in John 5 missed. And sometimes this is a trap that we all fall into too. Most of the time, when something happens, we want people to understand us. We want to be understood. Yes, it is good to be understood. But when it gets long, when we take it too far, it becomes a chase. It becomes a craving that we want people to have empathy on us, to empathize with us. Let's look at Jacob again. There's a man whom God has given so much. In fact, in those days, the firstborn had the right to everything. But in his case, God changed everything. He was loved by God. All the inheritance and the blessings, both spiritual and physical, was given to him. A man who went to his uncle empty, but came back with 2 wives and 2 concubines. He came back with about 12 children, adding the girls, 13 children. He went to his uncle with nothing. He came back with flocks of sheep, with donkeys, camels. But then, when the greatest man in Egypt at that time, Pharaoh, asked how old he was, he did not just share it. He wanted Pharaoh to say, oh, I see your pain. I understand you. It has been hard for you. Maybe Pharaoh said that. Maybe Pharaoh felt sorry for him. But that feeling of sorry for him couldn't change anything about Jacob's life. In fact, he is a man who escaped famine through his son, and he got a better land, a better place to stay with his children, for them to do their job, to rear their animals. But then, aside all that privileges, when he was asked, how are you? How old are you? He just took the opportunity, and it happens in our lives a lot. Most of the time when something happens and people ask how we are doing, how life is, we only love. It is like a craving. We only love to share about the hard part. People's mercy is not the same. We miss the point that it is only God who can have mercy on us. It is only God who uses man to help us. And seeking people's empathy doesn't change anything. That empathy that Jacob was seeking was just a temporary comfort, not a lasting cure. And here is a man at the pool of Bethesda. And when Jesus Christ was there, asked him, "Friend, do you want to get healed?" He did not reach for the miracle for his healing, being there stuck and struck by sickness for 38 bad years. And now here is your time to reach for the miracle to get healed. But when he was asked, he was just seeking for empathy. It is something that happens in life. I think I've shared this in my previous videos before, or if I haven't, let me just share this with you. A friend of mine traveled to China, and in China, when people see you, they just ask you, "Have you eaten?" They are not just asking you to just give you food. It is not something that they ask to know. It is just a greeting, like meeting somebody and saying, "Hello, how are you?" or "How is the weather?" They are just asking. It's just something that they just ask. But then the guy seeking for empathy thought that because they asked if he had eaten, they were going to give him food, because those people who asked him were actually in a restaurant. So he just said, "No, I have not." And they just said, "Come, come, come." He went to the restaurant, sat there, thinking they were going to give him food. And then they were just asking him questions about where he came from, why he is here, why he is working here, his salary, and those kind of stuff. After sitting there for more than an hour, then he realized that they were not going to give him food. Then he just left. A whole time just wasted because of empathy. Not talking about the hunger that he felt in that 1 hour period. So we think that people's empathy, because when we share too much, people will empathize with us and that they will do something for us. And when we seek that, we are not going to grow. Nothing is going to change in our lives. Yes, people's empathy is good, but it is not something that can outlast. It is only Jesus. It is only God. Like the man at the pool of Bethesda. People's sympathy did not heal him for 38 years. Only Jesus could do that. And that is what he should have reached out for. And today I want to admonish somebody that just reach out to God, reach out to Jesus, and not just people's help, people's comfort. Because whatever they say, that feeling, it is going to be well. Sorry. It will be fine. It just lasts for a moment. The problem doesn't go away. But seeking God, seeking Jesus, brings a lasting comfort and healing. Empathy was just a band-aid on a wound that needed Jesus' healing touch. Let me be clear, empathy is a gift. When someone wraps their arms around you and says, "I care," that matters. In fact, it is how we show God's love to each other. But empathy is not the final cure. It is a grace, but not a cure. Pharaoh's empathy couldn't rewrite Jacob's story, but God's faithfulness. The crowd at the pool at Bethesda couldn't heal the man's disease. Jesus' power did. Your friends, I am sorry, can't heal your deepest brokenness. It is God's "I love you, I am with you, I will heal you." That is what can. Friends, here is the problem with chasing empathy. It is rooted in human limitation. People can care so much. They can only understand so far, and their comfort can last so long. But God, He sees every pain. He knows everything. He knows everything. He sees every pain. And he understands. He knows every hidden hurt. His empathy is infinite. And his compassion is not just about kind words, but it follows with action. Empathy says, I care. I know your pain. But God says, I see your pain. I know your pain. I care. And I will redeem it. Empathy gives temporary comfort, but God gives lasting hope. That is the difference. So today, if you find yourself chasing someone to validate your struggle, pause and seek the one, God, who knows you and who understands you. The one who knows your pain. The one who can fill the empty void. The one who can bring healing. The one who understands and knows you. It is only God who can do all these, not man. And that is what our souls have been longing for. Friends, today I just want to encourage someone. I know it hurts. Trust me, I've gone through that. All right, folks, if this message is good and if you want somebody also to hear, and I believe you know someone who needs to hear this message, I want you to hit the subscription button. I want you to like and share with someone who needs to hear. I want you to comment. Let's build a community that encourages each other, a community that grows together. See you in the third episode. God bless.